Oh, look who it is, everybody. What is going on? We are here in Atlanta for the season opener. It was a journey, but we made it here. Chris is currently readjusting our lighting right now, but that's why they call him the man of the people, because he knows how to adjust on the fly. That's going to be a theme here today, but nevertheless, what is going on, everybody? We are so happy to be here today. I am Andre Cassidy, alongside Chris Jenkins, who will be on the screen here in a bit. We are live here in Atlanta, getting you ready for a matchup today between the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. A day that felt like it never would show up, right? After the season ended last year. And then once training camp came around, boom, it just went right by. Just went right by there.
I'm just happy to be here today. We're going to have some outtakes about what it takes to get here and things that we go through. But without looking at my script that we were up to midnight making sure that we got together, here's what I'm going to open up and ask you all to do as you're watching this video. Number one, subscribe to the channel, all right? We're so close to getting to 10,000. The bigger that we grow, the more things that we can do. Today you're going to see we have more than 10 interviews with players that's going to be part of this pregame show, the most we've had by far. And I challenge you to find an outlet that has as many pregame interviews as we have that's going to get you ready for this Atlanta Falcons season opener with the new Bryce and Frank Reich era. So subscribe. For those who have already subscribed, hit the like button. That really helps other Panther fans find out about our channel, helps us, again, grow. And we got something breaking news. I won't say breaking news.
Breaking news?
Let me not play around like that. We have memberships now available for the channel, right? We're independent media, 100% supported by you all, right? And so, just be frank, we need your support. So that link is right below the video to have you join the channel and come on and be a supporter for the show. You'll get a cool little thing, right? You'll get a little special certificate, kind of like the verified check mark that we're used to seeing, by your name. And we pay extra attention to those.
Okay.
Make sure that we get those comments in there.
Now, are you going to still call people? Is that something that you're still...
Calling was just the first 5 people.
Okay.
I can't call everybody. Can't call everybody, but we'd have to raise the price a lot. It's only, I think, $3.99 right now for that. And then also, we'll follow you on social media, right? So for the members that we have, you want us to follow, just shoot me a message, say, hey, follow me, and we'll follow back 100% everybody that's a member.
And since we're on it right now,
okay,
I'm going to go ahead and post that link to join as a member of this channel in the comments section. So let me go ahead and do that now for all of you out there, so you have the opportunity to see what he is selling here, all the benefits and all the things that comes with being a member, a valued member of this family that continues to grow day by day.
Yeah. So we have a big show lined up. It's an hour and a half, up to an hour and a half, I should say, show. We're here on the field, as promised, at 10:30. At 11:30, we'll make a point to break, give or take a few minutes, and go over the inactives. But this whole show, you'll have the normal content that you're used to having, which is all the information to get you ready for watching the game with your family and friends, to let you know about the Falcons, the Panthers, all that good stuff. And then the new part that we're going to have, and hey, leave a comment if you like this. We're going to integrate videos and player interviews a lot more into our pregame show, and we have a lot of them. And then we want to interact with you, right? So enjoy the show as we go through all the content that we have lined up for you today. And then we'll post a link depending on how much time we have left. I'm wondering if I remembered my headphones. I don't know if I did. Yeah, they're in the bag.
They're somewhere in there, right? We'll figure it out.
So let's go ahead and get to a few comments, though, because that's what this show is about, interacting with the people. And we have a lot of stories, and we're going to try to figure out when we should tell them about
Probably
the journey.
towards the end, because, you know, I would like to stay on script.
Okay.
You know, for somebody who likes to ad-lib a lot,
okay,
I want to be on script just for a little bit, just so we stay organized, right?
Organization is important.
It is the key.
Hey, Mom. I don't know if she's out there, but, you know, you want to give a hey, Mom?
Yeah, what's going on to the Cassidy fam? My mom out there, I hope you're tuning in. My sister, everybody out there back home in the Queen City. We love you. Chris and I, we're here. Made it here safe. And we're ready to go here today.
I'm ready to unbutton this jacket already. You already unbuttoned.
Yeah.
Maybe I should unbutton because it seems a little warm. But let me give a shout out to my wife. So I'm very supportive of what we do here.
Holding it down.
Yeah, and whenever there's an away game, I got to give her a special shout out because I'm actually not home for 2 nights, kind of, out covering this. So Ms. Jenkins, thank you so much. And the kids, Cameron, Chandler, Cyrus, and the daughter-to-be, which is
Less than a month?
Just about a month away.
Oh, man. I came to that realization last night when he was talking about it. I was like, wow, October is already just around the corner. I mean, it just shows you how time flies in a matter of minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah, so we got some viewers. Hey, for those that are tuning in right now, give us a like just for the fact that before this show ends, it's going to be a lot more noisy. It's going to be a lot of things running around.
It's going to be some more people.
And we're probably going to be agitated by people that are going to be caving in, invading our space. So hit a like.
It's peaceful now, but give it like an hour. Yeah. Even an hour, I mean, I don't even know.
Probably, I'd say
45 minutes.
Season opener, so it might be even sooner. But
could be.
Let's get into some of these comments here. Ali Bodrick, welcome back, fellas. How's the scenery down there so far? Andre, I'll let you touch on that real quick.
Definitely crowded coming into the stadium today. The lot that we parked at was quite full, so there's definitely a energy level that you would assume to be here for the season opener. But yeah, there's definitely an energy here. Definitely a good deal, Panther fans.
Yeah.
Seeing a lot of Jeremy Chin jerseys, Bryce Young, all different sorts of jerseys out there ready to support the Panthers. So yeah, you can definitely feel the energy and a sense of anxiousness too.
Yeah.
I feel a little anxious now.
We've been going through a lot.
But there's a backstory behind it. So, but nevertheless, it is filled with energy, and the excitement is definitely here today.
All right, so we're just going to touch on these comments, and we'll come back. I put my gate up. We might need to find a way to, maybe you can get it's a network right beside you. You can get him to be security on your side. Mm-hmm. But let's bounce through these real quick because we got a lot to go over today. Camden Bush seems to be excited.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Phi Beta hit us as well is excited.
Okay.
You should live in Atlanta with a name like that because, I felt a lot of the Atlanta vibe in coming
right
here. I lived here for a minute, and it took me back.
And then you had enough, and you were like, yeah, we got to get out of here. Too many people.
Look at this question. Surprise question.
Oh, boy.
We don't know yet. Probably we'll get some more information as we are on live, and we'll bring that to you. But at this moment, we do not know yet.
But he is here, though.
He is here.
He is here. So that's half the battle.
Chris Mack says, appreciate y'all doing this. Hey.
Appreciate you tuning in.
Underground West.
Keep pounding. We like that.
Panthers, we just had a hiccup there, but he filled in for us.
Keep pounding.
Panthers Prime Podcast. Let's go. We out here. So we're about to get into it. Let me first go to this right here. I'm going to tell you again why this is so important. We don't have any, law firms that are writing us nice checks,
no Morris
anybody.
Jenkins.
No Morris Jenkins.
No Bo
Or you know who I would like? If you live in Charlotte and you've heard Travis something Heating and Air. Have you ever heard that commercial?
I have not.
You have? Okay. I hear it 500 times.
I'm going to have to be on the lookout for that now.
This guy must have like $1 million budget easily for advertising. So, you can reach out to us. But anyway, let me not
Our lines
get off
are
the
open.
We're independent media, meaning we're supported 100% by the donations from you all. We need them, so I'm just going to make it quick. Next game that we're trying to get the funds to make sure that we are able to travel to, and it's just me. I wish I could get enough money for this guy to travel all the time too, will be the Miami game. Ballpark, it costs about $1,200 for me to go to that game, just to get there, hotel, everything. So, super chats, donations, Cash App, that's in the description. Join the channel to be a member and get special privilege that I talked about. We really appreciate it. It helps us to do what you love to do, be in front of this camera. So we need you guys. So with that being said, CG, keep up the great work, fellas. Let's go Panthers. Excited to see Bryce in action. So we appreciate that very, very much. We appreciate everybody that takes part in this. You ready?
I'm ready, man.
You ready? You got your water?
I got my water.
All right.
I got my notes.
You got your notes?
And I think we're ready to do this.
All right, so without further ado, we're going to get you ready for this game today. Is yellow me or you? Yellow's you, right?
I think yellow is me.
I didn't send you this, did I?
You did not.
All right, so I'm going to send my man Andre this right now so that we can go through this whole broadcast with the proper information that we need to have.
And in the reason, sequential order, too, right? Trying to keep it organized.
And the reason I didn't send him this was due to our journey in getting here. Traffic wasn't too bad.
It wasn't.
Let me know when you got that.
Yeah.
But when we parked, number one, we had to park. We could see the building, but we weren't close. And then we had to wait for a shuttle, and it was long. Anyway, we'll get into it. He told me that he has a script. So Andre is going to start us off and talk about the I lost it, so you tell me what it is.
Yeah, so we're going to start off with the matchup today, the reason why we are here, right? So let's start off with the preseason records for both teams. The Panthers were 0-3, Falcons 1-1.
0-3.
Yeah. But we're not going to talk about that because you know why? This is the regular season.
Okay.
57th matchup between these two teams. Atlanta leading the all-time series 35-21. Last matchup that we had was in Charlotte, which we had the pleasure of covering. Thursday night game, a little rainy, right?
Yeah.
Panthers won that game 25-15, led by PJ Walker and that crew and everybody there. Falcons, meanwhile, have a 20-8 record against us here at home in this very stadium.
There comes the noise.
Here comes the noise, but we're going to battle through the noise, right? And the last time the Panthers won here in Atlanta was Halloween back in 2021. A Sam Darnold-led offense by a score of 19-13, very run-heavy, and I feel like we may see some of that kind of game plan here today.
Hey, that was pre-Andre Cassidy with Charlotte vibes.
Right.
So we're going to hope that you turn things around for this team. But we watched a very exciting game here last year, right?
We did,
that game was extremely
Why did
exciting.
you bring that up? I totally forgot about that game even existed. It's out of my mind. What are you even talking about right now?
Did Eddie Pinheiro forget about it?
Who?
See? We don't know what happened last year, other than we lost, right? And we're here to go.
It was not a fun drive home.
We're here to go. It wasn't. We're here to go 1-0 today. So that was the matchup for today. I'm trying to fight and want to dance because I want that. I'm trying to get my energy back.
I don't know if I want. I mean,
the swag
we're here.
It's just left, right. You know, just sway left to right, and you got it down. That's why it's such a popular dance, right? Everybody can do it, just left, right. Anyway, we will not swag surf for you yet.
Not yet, at least.
Morning. All right, some interesting facts about this matchup today. Frank Reich in his first year as the Carolina Panthers head coach, and I got to say, sometimes the stats aren't that great, but we're not doing our job if we don't set you up with some history about what you're about to watch. Frank is currently on a losing streak for us openers, right? He's 0-4-1 in his last 5 seasons. So we're hoping that maybe this is a stat that could bode well because it's time for that victory, right? He's not going to be defeated his entire career, or at least recently. But he's 0-4-1 in his last 5 seasons. Last one was a tie against the Texans. And then we got a rookie quarterback starting for us today, Bryce Young, #1 overall draft pick. Unfortunately, rookie quarterbacks, #1 taken overall, have not had that much success in their season opener. And they have not won since 2002. Drum roll.
Any guesses?
Any guesses on who was the last #1 overall pick as a quarterback to start and win their first game? I'm going to give you a minute to answer that because I know there's a little bit of a delay.
Can I give the people out there a hint?
Go give them a hint.
The quarterback who is in our division is his brother. That's all I'll say.
That's all he'll say?
There's a quarterback in our division who is related to this quarterback.
Make sure you're keeping an eye on those comments.
Absolutely.
Make sure we're all good. But he gave you the hint there. All right, one more. Past 8 quarterbacks drafted first overall, which is certainly to take away from what that previous comment is, combined 0-7-1 in their first career start. So it's a little bit different, not the season opener. That's their first career start. The past 8 quarterbacks are 0-7-1.
Well,
and
we got some smart people out there, but I'll let you finish.
We got some smart people? All right.
I'll let you finish.
So that's just to give you all a perspective because we're cheering for this Carolina Panthers team. We're cheering for Bryce Young, but we just have some perspective for what you're expecting out of this guy, right? And what he's up against. All right, you said we had some responses. Let me try to get to it. Let's see.
We have 3 people who have commented, and they're all right. It was David Carr back in 2002 for the Houston Texans in their inaugural season. Remember, Houston's not a very old team. They're like 20 years old, but in their inaugural season, he won for Houston in his very first game. But after that, it was kind of just a downhill spiral for them in regards to that. But nevertheless, maybe we could stem the tide a little bit today with the victory of Bryce Young and Coach Reich at the helm here today.
Yeah, and a few people have got it right, so let me get these guys up on the screen.
David Carr, yep.
We had Byron that got it right with David Carr.
Yep.
We have Chris Mack that got it right. We have Ben's Cobain.
Okay.
We have Imani. We got Jaquan. And maybe there's some others, but that's what I got for you guys so far. And you guys are on my man Andre already. Mad chatters, getting at it. Andre's eyebrows grew back after the grill mishap.
Hey, you know what happens, man. Things happen in life, out of my control, but we're in the process.
Yeah.
Trust the process, right? But we're getting there. We're definitely getting there for sure.
Hey, and you know, in this channel, we keep it real about some of the things that are going on. We're not like square, perfect reporters. We want to relate
we're
to you
human,
guys,
right?
We're
human.
There's a camera that's probably 3 inches from Andre's left shoulder. I don't know if he's realized it yet. But,
oh, no, I have.
You have?
Don't worry, I have.
But it's just part of the sideline reporting that's pretty cool that we get to see and be a part of.
You get used to it pretty quick. That's the thing about it. You're there for like a minute and you're like, all right, got to get used to it. You just got to power through.
Yeah, if you don't get used to it, we'll never get through the show, right?
Exactly.
We got another super chat that came through,
oh,
so we got to break
that.
out. My tie is a little crooked. Let's see if I can.
Is that the same tie you wear every season opener? I noticed that. You wore that same tie last year, didn't you?
I don't know.
Rewind the tape. I'll verify it. But it looks good.
You know why? If I did wear it last year,
yeah.
This is what happens. First game of the season, it's always hectic. I'm trying to get my life together. Yeah. And my wife's like, hey, don't forget to take all your suits to the cleaner, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, dear, I don't have time. I'm just trying to get it together.
Right.
So what happens is I open up the closet, and I got about a dozen suits in there. I'm like, whatever one is not the other team's colors.
Right.
So red or black, which I was kind of hurt because I really just wanted to, with the black.
This is a little on the risky side because this may come up as red on the camera. I don't know. But this is pink.
Okay.
So, you know, for people out there who think I'm wearing red, it's just a pink.
Scott does that to us every daggone. Why didn't you get him?
We got to wait for Dave Tepper. You know he's going to be rolling around here pretty soon.
Scott walks by. I'm going to blame this on you. Scott walks by. He's in your vision. And,
I was too shy. That's what it was. I was too shy to say something. I know the man's busy. He's got a contract to work out, man. I don't want to distract him.
All right. So if I see him, all I want to do, or if you see him, just say, hey, can you just wait? We just want him to wait. That's all we want.
As long as I have your clearance, right?
You have my clearance. Hey, Charles, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it very much. Let's see, our mics have peaked a little bit, so I'm going to turn the volume down, make sure we're good. Hit the like button if you have not already done so. Subscribe to the channel, help us get to 10,000 subscribers. It helps us do so much more. And we're going to continue to roll through. We have 124 people watching right now, so let's do it.
Loving the energy.
Like it.
Let me go ahead and go to my favorite part of the show. I say that sarcastically, right? I'm going to go over some notable connections, and I always say this too, Chris. We need this list to be short. And sure enough, 3 bullet points because, hey, we don't need any intra I-85 conflicts, right?
Okay.
Well, let's start out with this.
Hey, hit a like button for every time Steve Fitter. Good gracious.
Steve Fitter, Scott Fitter, the whole 9 yards. He'll be back here before you know it. But here we go. Panthers tight end.
Last interruption, I promise. This DJ wants you to swag surf because he has played this song about 5 times. And I feel like before it's
he's not going to get it because I am locked in.
You're locked in.
I am on script today. I promised myself that I would be. So here we go. Hayden Hurst, new Panthers tight end. Played for the Falcons back in 2020 and 2021. Also, Panthers defensive tackle Nick Thurman played for the Atlanta Falcons back in 2020 and 2021 as well. And a guy that we know so well, Taylor Heineke, who is now on the Falcons, played for Carolina back in 2018. So I don't think we'll see him on the field today. Let's hope not. But if we do, we have some insider info on Taylor Heineke and what he does and what he doesn't do well. So, But nevertheless, those are your connections for today's game. I'm going to turn it over to you, Chris, because we now are at the point of the show where we get to look at all these wonderful interviews that you were able to get through this past week.
Yeah, so a brand new segment that we're going to do with this pregame show. Give us your feedback, let you know how it goes. But this new segment is going to feature interviews. I'm going to talk to players throughout the week leading up to the game, get their firsthand account about what to expect and various things, and bring that to you. Because one of the things that I really love to do is give you all the facts, give you as straight to the horse's mouth as I can about this team, these players, and let you decide how you feel about things. And certainly don't mind giving my opinion when we can, but I think there's nothing like hearing it straight from the player's mouth and coach's mouth about what's going on with this team. So we have more than 10 interviews that I'm going to go through, give you some insight. And first we're going to start with the rookies. I didn't get them all.
There's another super chat if you want to take a look.
All right, so I'm going to get to that super chat
here in a little bit.
We spent time talking with all the rookies. Well, I can't say all the rookies. I got 3 rookies lined up for you all. They're going to talk about their excitement for their first game as an NFL pro. Then we're going to talk to players on the defensive side, and then we're going to talk to players on the offensive side. And we're going to get into some position group analysis as well so that we can know what we're looking for in this 2023 season. And by the way, we did a show last night and said, will the Panthers make the playoffs? Got a few comments that were like, you guys are way ahead of yourselves, let game 1 be played. Hey, we only do 1 video each year where we do the prediction. And that's what that was last night, just about, hey, what's the outlook for the season? What do we think is going to happen? Because we still want to try to have your own opinions, right, by far, but just want to try to give you some perspective on things. Like if we win today, still have some perspective. And if we lose today, still have some perspective. So before I get into that, Andre did a good job in alerting me that we have a super chat. So let me try to find it.
Mark Burks.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
A very kind and generous super chat, I may add.
Yeah, Mark wants to help us get to
Miami. Right.
So appreciate it very much. $20 super chat. Mark, thank you so much. Please consider also joining the channel. I haven't had a chance to look too much in here yet, but you'll probably see people with the little certified thing by their names. Those are members of the site. I think it's just $4 a month. And that just, again, helps us to operate and do what we do.
And again, that link is in the description too. So feel free to check it out. Look through all the benefits, and hey, we would love to have you on board here. This is the family, the Charlotte Vibe family. We would love to continue to grow that and be a bigger unit.
Yeah, so he says, just chipping in on gas from New York. Thanks for working. And it will absolutely go towards his gas.
It will definitely
I got to pay his gas first and then mine. So I think I spent, I filled up right before I spent 55, I think.
Yeah, I went to Costco, 35.
35?
So smaller tank, smaller car, a little bit more generous on your side of things too. But it is definitely appreciated. And to everybody out there, keep on hitting that like button. Leave those comments. We will get to those comments here in a little bit, but we are feeling the excitement here already. So please keep doing what you're doing. We're down here because of all of you out there. So again, keep at it. Keep at it.
For me for a second, because I forgot to load up all this.
Yeah, but again, to everybody out there, Mark Burks, I mean, the list continues to grow and grow. Keep on leaving those super chats. Again, we're here for all of you out there. We're here for all of you, and that's why we're doing this. And the journey, we keep bringing up this journey. We'll divulge into that here in a little bit, but the journey to get here was definitely quite the pilgrimage, to say the least.
I'm going to ask for your help here, because I'm not on the mouse pad. I need to drag and drop that over to that.
So you got all 10 of them, right?
Yep.
So all you got to do.
It better than me.
So you're trying to get it over here?
Just drag it
onto the screen. So we're going to.
Help.
Uh-oh. Pardon the interruption, everybody. So we're going to do this again. Let me put my mic down. So we're going to do that.
So this is live TV, what happens right now. Andre, I forgot to load up all the interviews before we got on because of some of the chore that we had in getting here. I'm not good at the touchpad with dragging things. Andre did last time.
I did it last time with ease, and now.
But if you can't, then I'll just switch over to the mouse pad for a second and switch it over. Appreciate all the likes that we have coming. I think we're up to like 68, and we definitely need to be over 100 for this. And what we're loading up right now are just the interviews. So I'll give you some views. Right now, J.C. Horn's about to walk out onto the field, about to walk across the camera. I see Morgan's out here. A few other players are starting to warm up.
Yeah, do it.
All right, so I'm gonna do the mouse. Let Andre fill in some of the space for a second.
Yeah, so pardon us for some technical difficulties, but that's part of live TV, and you get to see it firsthand. But let's see what we got going on here. I see Miles Sanders, Chuba Hubbard out here on the field. I see our photographer who will be meeting up here in a little bit. to say hi and what's up. But yeah, a couple Atlanta Falcons out here as well. Relatively early on, we're still here at 11, so there's still some players filing in. J.J. Jansen walking onto the field as well. Some early stretches for a lot of people. So that's pretty much the scene right now. We're going to be seeing some more people file in here in a little bit as we get ready for the warm-up period to the start of the game. Inactives will be out here in the next 30 minutes. Will Brian Burns play? We'll figure that out, and we'll have an answer to that question in a not-too-distant future, but he is here in the building, from my understanding.
Good job, good job. I think I have it. I think I have it. So, get all professional like that never happened. Hit the like button for the fact that I just did that, and we still did not break stride, all right? Live TV, again, we don't have, like, to our left, there's a team of, like, 5, not too huge, helping them with their broadcast.
Right.
We don't have anyone around us.
It's just
helping
two of us
with our sound, audio, and loading things up. So sometimes we run into those hiccups.
And really 1.5 because you got this guy right here. So I mean, I'll do my best, but nevertheless, we are here and we are about to get that first interview played up.
Yeah, I think I'm about to go into it. Well, let me make sure I got it before we. All right, so I do have it. We're up to 185 people watching right now. Hit the like button, subscribe, super chat. Cash App, join, please help support us. All right, let's get into these interviews, which is going to be great. Let us know your feedback. If you're liking these interviews, just hit the like button. First up are the rookies. I usually get his name wrong, but Andre's corrected me so many times, I'm going to get it right this time. DJ Johnson is the first player that I had a chance to talk to that's going to be playing today. Now, I forgot to ask him the question about, hey, how are you feeling about your first game?
Right.
But I think that happened because he's actually not one of the guys that's going to get probably a lot of playing time today. We'll see about it. But I did get his comment on what this defense should be preparing for from the Atlanta Falcons.
Run the ball. You know, that's their main MO from what we've seen and watched a lot of film on them. They like to run the ball, so the key to stopping them is definitely stopping the run.
So I'm going to play that one more time because I couldn't hear the audio. Want to make sure you guys hear. So again, this is DJ Johnson on what to expect, what they need to prepare for defensively for this Atlanta.
Run the ball. You know, that's their main MO from what we've seen and watched a lot of film on them. They like to run the ball, so the key to stopping them is definitely stopping the run.
So you see, he mentioned there running the ball. Yep. Did you have a comment?
Yeah, and I think that's going to be something that you will notice through a lot of these interviews that you're going to have here, focusing in on stopping the run on the defensive side of things. And from the rookies to the veterans, that message is pretty clear. DJ Johnson, who will have opportunities to play today, not necessarily going to be in a starting role, but there'll definitely be some snaps for him today. Scott Fitterer walking over there. He's distracting me. But nevertheless, we'll be interested to see how he performs today because, you know, they made an investment to move up to get him. So I wonder what kind of pressure he feels, if he feels any pressure. But, you know, they made that investment to get him. So we'll see how he does here today in Atlanta.
All right. So next up for the rookies, DJ Mingo. Had a chance to speak with DJ, and he talked about
Jonathan Mingo. I got you, fam.
I think I had it in my notes wrong. I
got you.
But anyway, that's we'll come back to that. Jonathan Mingo, rookie wide receiver. Got a chance to speak with him as well about his anticipation for this first game. Yeah. Let's see. Let me get to it. Mingo.
There you go.
Yeah. Excited to like a kid playing this first PB game, just ready to get out there and do what I can do. You know what I'm saying? Help my team win. So been waiting on the moment my whole life, so I'm finally ready for it to happen. Excited to like a kid playing this first PB game, just ready to get out there and do what I can do. You know what I'm saying? Help my team win. So been waiting on the moment my whole life, so I'm finally ready for it to happen.
All right, Jonathan Mingo there, and he's definitely going to have more opportunities to showcase what he can bring to the table today with DJ Chark not in the lineup. And, you know, you can tell he's excited. You can tell that, you know, Bryce Young and Jonathan Mingo, you know, they have a growing and budding chemistry. And that will definitely be on display today. I'm excited to see how the two of them navigate through their first game as pros here to start out. So it'll be interesting to see how they do today, specifically with him.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Jonathan, too, from the fact that I remember that interview. Here's a plug. All of my one-on-one interviews is in a playlist. Just click on the logo for the channel, and you'll see a playlist that we have out there. It says one-on-one. Nobody has had more one-on-one interviews than Charlotte Vibe, so check that out. Full interview I did with Jonathan Mingo.
And let me just say this too. I feel like the reason why you keep saying DJ Mingo is because you see a lot of DJ Moore in his play style. So, I mean, I could give you the benefit of the doubt there because, hey, if he could be a DJ Moore-like player for this offense, that would go so far for this team in terms of what they expect out of him.
Yeah, appreciate it. So, I don't know what I was saying there. What was I saying?
What were you saying? You were saying
this
something.
Guy.
I was so.
Oh, I got it. So,
yeah.
He talked about being a guy that his run after the catch.
Yes.
And he said that to me. I'm like, okay. And I got a chance to see it a few times in the preseason. So interested to see that out here today against the Falcons. Will be great to see. Next up, final rookie that I had a chance to speak with, my son's favorite guy because his name is also Chandler. We had a chance to speak with Chandler Zavala about his first game as a pro that's now today.
Feeling very blessed and just to be here for the fact I'm being here. So I'm very thankful to have all these guys around me. So it's been very fun being here.
And who's the guy behind me? You guys just played a game of table tennis. How'd that go?
1-1. He got me one time. I got him one time.
All right, as we get ready for this Atlanta team, what do they do well that you guys are going to have to prepare for on that line?
Every team in this league as well. So everybody just has to execute and then we'll be okay.
All right, Chandler Zavala there, and he will be starting in today's game. I just like how aloof he is. He seems very calm and very laid back. But to get into what he was saying about, being in this game and starting and being excited, you get to see it, like in his mannerisms and in his face. He's ready to go. He's going to have a tough matchup today, though. He has Grady Jarrett and Calais Campbell, two of the top defensive tackles in the NFL. He's going to have his hands full today, so another opportunity to see a rookie. How does he handle those unique challenges? How does the team surround him and give them that structure whenever there is that opportunity where he may mess up? It'll be interesting to see that balancing act today as well on the offensive line.
Yeah, certainly hope that he has a good rookie year. Akeem Ikwanu had a good rookie year. Kind of was during the preseason.
Right.
We'll get into more about the offensive line coming up, though, but I just want the first segment of videos there was just about these rookies as they prepare for their first NFL regular game. And now we're going to switch over to the defensive side. You didn't get hit. You got people looking out for you.
Hey, it was 6 feet away.
We're going to go to the defensive side of the ball. Though he's not a rookie.
Not a rookie.
Action Jackson is always full of excitement. So I had a chance to talk with Dante Jackson about, hey, season opener's right around the corner. How are you feeling, Dante? So let me go ahead and cue this up for Dante. We're up to 200 viewers at once, which is great.
Look at that.
So continue to like, subscribe. Please, at the least, just subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Help us grow. We're going to continue.
those comments too. We're about. Oh, that's like.
As long as it's yours and not mine. As long as it's yours and not mine.
But we're going to be getting to those comments here relatively soon. But keep on leaving those comments.
Dante Jackson on his excitement for this first game versus the Falcons.
I'm excited, man. We got a divisional opponent week 1. You know what I'm saying? We confident in the work we put in all the way up to this point, man. We're going to just keep putting in work until we through Sunday,
What are some of the things this Atlanta team does well that you will be preparing for this Sunday?
Run the ball. They got a good running, balanced run team, a lot of good playmakers on that side of the ball. Young quarterback who ain't scared to take chances. And like I said, a good running game that's going to get downhill. Some good receivers, good playmaking receivers too as well.
All right. So we don't know who's going to go.
So I'll go ahead and take it.
On Dante?
Yeah, I'll take it on Dante. You'll go next here. But regardless of the fact, again, the energy level, you just see it there in that interview. He is excited and ready to go. And, he didn't really touch too much on this because I don't think he wants to make this a big issue. But his health, that's a big question coming into this season. He's done a lot of preparation. He did say in the interview about getting ready and getting his body right mentally and physically. So it'll be interesting to see not only from that aspect, how does he handle the health aspect, but also what strides does he need to make as a, 6-year quarter now? I mean, there's always building blocks every year that a player has to make. What does he need to do this season to set himself and solidify himself? And part of it is just, not being too aggressive. he always has that tendency to want to bite on something and then give up a big play. So how does he make that adjustment? How does he make those strides to being a little bit smarter about that?
Okay. We're going to continue to roll through it. I was about to say something that I forgot, but I'm sure to come back to me before we continue on through here. So right next to Dante Jackson is J.C. Horn.
Okay.
And let me tell you this, one thing I love to, and being a man of the people and watching this channel, one thing that you should expect is getting a little bit more behind the scenes, a little bit more perspective, because we all love the behind the scenes and things that we don't get to see. So move to this locker room, or should I say the vibe.
The vibe,
in this locker room this week. It was pretty positive. Guys were pretty loose heading into their first game. People didn't seem uptight, with the exception of Brian Burns.
Right.
I can say the times that I saw him at his locker, and I don't know if I want to call it a conversation. I guess I could say the word or two I had with him was, and it wasn't like words, it was just exchanging, was just like, he's definitely uptight. Mm-hmm. Got a lot of stuff going on, but it's pretty loose. So a lot of the interviews that I did in the locker room these past couple of days this week, players were like behind me and mocking each other.
Right.
I think you probably heard last night.
Like with Zavala. I don't know if you heard that with Zavala in the background. You could hear people just making faces and making comments, if you will. The life of a rookie, right? You get that experience early on more than anything else. But yeah, I mean, you kind of have to have that mindset moving into week one, start of a new season. Everything's fresh. It'll really start to set in after today. Yeah. But you gotta have to be loose at this point.
Yeah, so it's just that perspective that I want to provide to you guys on things. Some comments that are coming through. Keep those comments rolling through. Here's a tip for you, because we got a lot of comments, which I'm very appreciative for and love, because that's what we go live to do. If you join, there's a little verified type icon that appears by your name, which helps me see your comments. So consider doing that. Just $3.99 per month for that. We're going to continue to roll through. J.C. Horn, who he missed quite a few games.
He did.
He missed almost a quarter. We're up to 17 games now, so it's technically not a quarter. But he missed 4 games last year. Suffered an injury this offseason. I think that was during OTAs, because it was before we went down to training camp in Spartanburg. Spoke with J.C. Horn as well, because this is a guy that, hey, what is your excitement level like? What are you feeling heading up into this this first regular season game? So here's J.C. Horn on his current excitement or emotions about this first game.
Feeling good, excited. Like Jack said, division opponent. Can't want nothing better, for an opening game. It's a big game, and I'm just excited to get out there.
How well you think you're going to be able to sleep leading up to it? Because it's been a minute, right?
Yeah, I already been tossing and turning hell, just trying to go to sleep. But I'm just trying to peak at the right time, trying not to get excited too early, and be ready when Sunday comes. Everything, bro. It's a new defense, so that presents new opportunities for everybody on the field, all 11. So I'm excited. I'm excited for everything, just to be lined up in front of another opponent competing at a high level.
All righty. Who's this? Kevin Hart? Does Kevin Hart say all right?
Oh, yeah. No, you're thinking of, oh, wow. Why am I blanking on his name?
Because that's not part of the script.
Wow. Why am I blanking on his name? A Texas guy. He's a Texas guy, man. We'll come back to it.
We'll come back to it. But so those are 2 guys in the secondary. Did not get a chance to ask every single player about his position group. So my good old co-host Andre Cassidy is going to talk about that secondary.
Yeah, and this is an interesting group, right? Because a lot of people, I don't know if I would be amongst that group, but they feel like on paper this could be a weakness of this defense, right? You have 2 top caliber guys in Dante Jackson and J.C. Horn. We know what they can do, right? But they have to stay healthy. That's the big thing with them more than anything else. Health is a big part of that secondary, because if they're in and out of the lineup, who do we have? C.J. Henderson, Troy Hill. I mean, those guys don't really move the needle. I mean, we're going to see more Jeremy Chin as a slot guy, but the health factor to me, that's the biggest concern that I have. I don't think it's about what they can do on the field, because they know and we know what they can do, right? Yeah. But it's a matter of being productive, staying on the field, staying healthy. If we could get that out of that group, then they'll change the narrative what a lot of people feel like is a weakness on this team.
So you feel like they're a weakness because not of the starters. We're good with the starters.
Yes.
You're just saying the depth isn't there for
It's lacking.
what
I'll be
could
real.
typically happen on an NFL season. Somebody can get hurt.
Yeah.
It's just a physical game. All right, I get you. I follow along
but
with you now.
there's some motivated people. C.J. Henderson, definitely one of those guys who needs to show out as well.
All right. So we're going to continue to move through. Again, likes are welcome. Please hit the like button. Leave your comments.
You know what to do.
Super chat, Cash App. The description's in the. The link is in the description for those who may want to contribute in that way to help this show. And let's continue to move through this. All right.
All right.
Hit the like button or leave some comments if you're liking this new content that we're doing. So we've covered the secondary. Don't beat up your computer there. We're going to move up. Now we're going to go to the linebacker group. Had a chance to talk with my man Shaq Thompson, who's always funny. So make sure you listen carefully here. But I talked to Shaq Thompson and said, hey, Shaq, do me a favor. Break down this linebacker group for me that we currently have. What do we have? And he took the time and broke it down for me, so I'm going to go ahead and share that with you guys as soon as I find it, which I just did.
Boom.
I don't even like my linebacker group, to be honest with you. But we're the strength of this team, this defense, I would say. We got to go out there, make sure everybody's on the right side. You got Frankie, the utility guy who could do it all. He could blitz, he could cover, he could rush, the same thing. Smart, intelligent. Then you got Kamu. Kamu's one of those guys, he could come in and play. He could play anywhere. He started on other teams before. He won a Super Bowl. He's smart, intelligent, fast, understands the game. He's just a workhorse. He's one of our big guys on special teams. Then you got Woot. Woot is a young guy who's on his way up. He's definitely has the ability to start on another team. He's smart. He understands the defense, understands football. Then you have Claude. Claude is a young buck, just came in from the Jets. He's one of those guys that's kind of just like Woot. He's smart, intelligent. He's just young, but he understands the game. He understands playbook. He understands football.
So there you have my man Shaq Thompson breaking down this group, saying I don't like any of these guys. But then he went into it for me, and he said something that I want to get your perspective on.
Okay.
He said that they're like the strength of this defense, that linebacker group. And you know what? As I say that, I have the answer now. But go ahead.
I feel like they're obligated to say that, though.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they're a strength, but they're serviceable. I mean, we don't have no Luke Kuechly's or Thomas Davises on this squad, but we do have some players, Shaq included, and then Camus and Frankie Luvu, who are kind of just do-it-all kind of guys, right? Who can rush the passer, who can identify runs and, just go in and make that play. They're very versatile, athletic. So whenever you have a tight end and a linebacker matchup, you always think it's a mismatch, right?
Right.
I don't feel like it's a mismatch with our guys because of how quick and shifty they are. So I do feel like, there's some variety there. And he even said it in that piece there. Variety is the key, and there's a lot of guys that have a lot of different skill sets in their package.
Yeah.
So definitely a plus, but I wouldn't consider it a strength.
So here's where I think he was going with that strength. And overall for this defense, because now we're in a 3-4,
Yeah.
that linebacker group is the strength in that they're like the important piece of it all.
Right.
So I think maybe if you look at it from that perspective, that he's talking about the important piece of it all, that's what it is.
Right.
Because now our edge rushers are not coming from the line. They're
That's
coming
right.
out of that
Yep.
linebacker group. And as a lot of guys have mentioned today, what's going to be the most important thing in beating this Atlanta Falcons team?
Stopping the run.
That's going to come from your linemen plugging up holes, and then your linebackers coming in and making the tackles. Now Derek Brown's good, so I'm sure he'll get his tackles in there too.
Oh, yeah, you know it.
But with the new scheme, I feel like they're the strength in the terms of how it's supposed to operate.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of things hinge on that for those guys. Lots of good comments that are coming. We got a little bit more to go through in the show. Someone said that they're glad that they finally made the live show.
Yes.
So we are too. This show today is an hour and a half because we have so much content. And what is going to happen, it looks like we might have some time because we've got about 45 minutes left in the show.
Okay.
What we're going to do at the end of the show is invite you on. We're going to post a link, which is not there yet, but we'll post a link, and we want you all to get used to being a part of this show. That's why Andre and I go live. I feel like that's unique about media, that there's not any media really that's interactive on game day, except for the radio, right?
Right.
But on TV they can't. But we have the ability to do that on YouTube, going live, and the other Twitter,
And
Facebook.
what better day to do it than today?
Yeah.
First game in a regular season, start of a new era.
I'm going to beat this guy up because he's going to make me forget the rest of my line, but he's excited. So we're going to go through. There's questions about who's playing. It's too early for us to officially say, right? So on game day, you get this information. Pretty much all media gets it at the last minute, all right? There may be some people that have some sources who can get it 5 minutes earlier, but with the live show that we have going on today, it's a little much for us to try to work sources.
Right.
So we're just going to bring that information as it officially comes out, but I can assure you we will give you the complete list of actives, inactives, elevations, and all the things that could happen. But let me just right now take a moment to use these sound effects that we have. Haven't used it in a while. Got some air horns, got some applause. We have right now Mike Solarte of Spectrum News just walked by. He might even come on for a second to stick it. Oh, he's just going to give me a fist bump. Oh, we got his hand and we couldn't get the whole body. Check out Mike Solarte on Spectrum News. It's really cool that, and I guess it's just because Charlotte Vibes like that.
Right.
When we're live, all the other media people will stop and come into the show, which is kind of funny because it's really like the cardinal sin when somebody's live.
Right.
Like, don't mess with them. They're going live, but we're men as people,
Right.
so they want to come and be a part of our
It's a
show.
brotherhood too. This is a whole family. This media family,
Yeah.
it's a whole thing. So it's awesome to have people come in, say what's up, and stop on by as well.
Someone says we might want to tell them to stop playing the music because it's going to catch us on the copyright. It is. So just a little backstory. We normally go live outside of the stadium, and we'll go live post-game inside of the stadium. And part of the reason is they do play a lot of copyrighted music
Right.
before the game, and YouTube will catch it and put other things on your video. But season opener, indoor stadium, we do take that risk and go live, and we might get caught by some copyright things. But nevertheless, for now, we're going to have a good time. A few people are saying that they're nervous. But let me go back. All the applause, let me go back to it. Yeah, all the applause are because right now, for the first time in our live broadcast history, we have reached 300 people that are watching at one time. So I'm going to let Andre give the thanks for the 300 people that are watching us live right now.
I'm shocked right now. That is impressive. The energy, the level of support, the aura, whatever you want to call it.
He's speechless. He didn't know what to say.
I don't know what to say, but again, we appreciate all your support. The excitement is real as we get ready for this Bryce Young era that we're about to embark on, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities for even more energy, I feel like, this season. But this is just setting the tone right here. I love it.
And we're appreciative of it so much because let me tell you, we worked hard. This guy and I was up. We had a suite that we stayed in at a penthouse because I know we were asking for super chats, but it was
held against my will. He wouldn't let me go to bed till midnight.
Right, we were up till midnight prepping for this show, and then we got up at 7 o'clock this morning to continue to prep for the show so that we could have a good product out there for you. So all the 300 people watching, we feel like we worked for this moment.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate everybody that has joined us in watching this show. All right, let's continue to move it on. We started at the back.
Right.
We got the secondary. We got the linebackers. Who's left?
What is it, the D-line?
The D-line.
Yeah.
So I had to wait. Again, you get a lot of little nuggets on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I had to wait for Derek Brown to finish his game of spades before he got this interview. And at this time, I think we're allowed about 45 minutes in the locker room. I was getting nervous. So this was probably about at the 38th minute that media were allowed to be in the locker room. But Derek finally had a chance to stand up from his game and talk to me. And here's what he had to say about this defensive line. Did I load up Derek Brown? Derek Brown, here we go.
I think we got stress all across the board. I mean, I think every guy's different in every category you look at. Whether it be from me to Shy, Brian, Justin. I mean, everybody, all different.
So from OTAs to training camp to now, leading up to a couple days for Atlanta, what are some of the improvements you've seen across the position group as well?
I think just getting that flow together. Like we just kind of gelling together and kind of knowing what's going on between each other.
Yeah, which is my next question, talking about the chemistry that you guys have. Talk about that chemistry if you can within this group.
I mean, we built a brotherhood, man, all the way through camp. Being down at Walford, close quarters with everybody every night, hang out, and just build that chemistry, on and off the field. I mean, it's almost like Shaw knows what I'm doing. I'm going to know what he's going to do on certain plays, and, I mean, that's just how we kind of go about it.
So I know I had to wait for you to finish playing cards. How well did you do in that card game?
I did all right. You know, I won some, lost some. You win some, you lose some.
All right, Coach, plays a pivotal role in you guys. How has the coach helped you guys to get where you are at this point right now?
I mean, a lot, man. We just drilled the basics all summer, man, over and over and over again. But, I mean, it's been good for us, and, you know, we've been able to get on the field and execute.
All right, so before I toss it to my man Andre Cassidy, Dante Jackson appears to be heavily locked in because he is sitting behind us at about the 35-yard line, and I don't know how long we've been live. We've been live about 50 minutes. I don't know at what point he came into vision. He has not moved from that spot. He is sitting on the field, on the floor, with his hoodie on, just staring. So maybe we're going to have a hell of a game from Dante Jackson. Let me go ahead and throw it to you now. Uh-oh, I made you laugh too much?
It's bizarre, but nevertheless, hey, he's getting locked in, right? But back to Derek Brown, right? You know, he's part of a pretty extensive group of players alongside Shai Tuttle and the Williams, Deshaun Williams and Roquan Williams. He's the obvious leader of that group, right? He's going to be the guy that will set that tone and be that energizing factor, and a guy pretty soon who's going to be due for a contract extension as well, but that's too far down in the future. But talking about today, you know, he even said it in that piece there too. This is a collective unit, and this unit has to set the tone by stopping the run. And you're noticing that throughout the course of everybody throughout the team from different position groups. Focusing in on the run game, Bijan Robinson is a guy that is going to cause nightmares today and maybe into the future. But with him and with that group, they are at the forefront. They are the front lines of getting that job done. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. And Derek Brown, he's going to be hungry today, I feel like. I do feel like he's going to be doing something.
Yeah.
What that something may be, we will see, but they're going to be hungry today.
Based on what these guys are saying, Derek Brown needs to be doing a lot of stuff in the hole so that his linebackers and other, I want to say colleagues, but
right.
his other
cohorts,
cohorts can come in and make the tackle. I think he has a lot on his plate today based on this Atlanta Falcons run offense that they have. But nevertheless, that'll conclude us on the defensive side, and we want to give you time for you guys to interact. So we're going to flip on over to the offensive side. And on the offensive side, we'll start with the quarterbacks. Surprise, I did not get a chance to talk to Bryce Young one-on-one. But I bet if you guys help me get closer to 10,000 subscribers that I could get Bryce on the show. But I did have a chance to introduce myself to Bryce. I was walking out of the media room, and it was one of those cases where as soon as you open the door, he's like, boom, right there. So I introduced myself to him. But nevertheless, this quarterback group, not a big room, so there's not a lot to talk about here like we do with the other positions because there's only two of them on the roster. So Bryce Young is looking good as a rookie quarterback. He's been nominated captain, which we're going to have some guys talk about here in a second. Nominated captain because he's impressive. He's mature. He carries himself well. So he's going to still have his rookie mistakes as he learns the NFL, as you just have to expect that he's going to have. But you should expect for him to have a better rookie season than your typical quarterback. And then he's backed up by none other than Andy Dalton, which we thought we weren't going to get to see at all this preseason, but we did get to see Andy Dalton.
Yep.
Was what you'd expect to see from a backup quarterback. But his big thing is just being a mentor to Bryce, being there to answer any and every question that Bryce has. And you know Bryce has a ton of questions.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely. This guy is well prepared. Eddie Pinheiro just gave me the nod that he's ready. Okay, he didn't give me the nod, but he made eye contact with me. Andre doesn't know where he's at yet, but he's to your left, Andre, at the end of the bench here. So now, did you see him? All right.
Sure did.
He saw him. All right, so that's the quarterbacks. Next up, I'm going to let Andre talk about this running back group and what to expect from them.
Yeah, so let's start off with Miles Sanders, a guy that we didn't see at all in the preseason. He's going to be Bryce Young's security blanket, whatever you want to call it. He's going to be somebody that Bryce Young will really heavily rely upon. Coming out of the backfield, receiving passes, using him in the screen game. He's going to be a big part of that aspect of what they do on offense. And then when you have guys like Chuba Hubbard and Raheem Blackshear in there as well, they're going to be rotational pieces. The one distinct difference that this group doesn't have this year compared to last year is a power back. We lost Deontay Foreman in free agency. So how does this team adjust to not having brunt force at the running back spot? It'll be interesting to see in those goal line situations, because that is something that is a need.
Yeah.
Let's just be frank about it. It is a need, but hopefully the three of them can fulfill that need and really balance that part of it out.
Yeah, they have the roof closed if you look up, and I don't know, I feel like it should be cooler in here if the roof is closed.
Right.
I'm still a little warm right now, but so speaking about some things, you touched on some of the things that you talked about, red zone offense, and I'm going off script here because you didn't know we were going to talk about that. I'm going to say I'm concerned about our red zone offense, right? You mentioned about the running backs and not having a bigger guy, so then you would go to think wide receivers. We're going to get into the wide receivers a little bit more here in a second. They've been banged up. We don't know who we're going to have. The list should be out any minute now about the inactives for today's game. But during training camp in Spartanburg, they struggled in the red zone. And I don't know what we're going to get out of that, right? So that's a question mark. Miles Sanders didn't play not one preseason game. He's not a rookie, but he has not played. Coach Frank Reich earlier in the week said that he doesn't know what the usage is going to be exactly because the game flow will dictate it, but they're planning to use him as they normally would when they first got him. Yep. In other words, they're not going to put any restraint on him. So we're going to see how, I mean, you just have to imagine the guy's going to be gassed a little bit. But see what his condition is like to pull through that and be a force in that area. So let's continue to move through this. And we're going to go up front now to the big boys. What used to be the hog mollies.
They're still hog mollies, right?
Oh,
or is there
I don't hear Scott Fitterer referring to them as the hog mollies.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and talk about these hog mollies. Got a chance to talk with the very friendly, very popular Bradley Bozeman. Bradley broke down for me this offensive line group and what we're going to see with them, coaching, improvements, etc.
You know, these guys, they're hard workers. You know, they just come in every day, ready to work. There's no egos in our room. You know, just come in ready to work, ready to go, ready to get better. No matter how good or bad we did the day before, we always come in ready to go. So,
chemistry's talked about on all position groups, but what's the chemistry like within this offensive line group so far?
It's really good so far. You know, we're just continuing to build, and we'll continue to build that chemistry as we go. You know, some of the lines, you know, take days, some take weeks, some takes months, but you know, I think we got a pretty good chemistry going right now, and we'll just continue to build on that.
All right, coaching, right? That's important for you guys. How's your coach impacted this group, being as good as you guys are?
Yeah, Coach Camp, he's awesome. He's down to the details. You know, he cares about us. He loves us. He's always got our back. So you know, he's awesome. I wouldn't trade him for anybody else. So.
And what improvements, Lance? What improvements have you seen in this group over, you know, from preseason until right now?
Just consistency. You know, there was some hiccups here and there, and then now we're just continuing to get better, continue to be more consistent, be more precise, and it's been a good I guess preseason and everything and training camp, and so we're ready to go.
All right, last one. What do you see as the biggest challenges for you guys when you go up against Atlanta this Sunday?
I mean, they're a really good front. They're good defense. You know, we're going to have our hands full for sure. So have to go in there and get prepared the rest of this week and see what happens.
All right. So before I throw it over to my man Andre, we have not been able to look at a lot of the comments because we're on the field, also making sure we stay safe and don't get hit by anything. Appreciate all the comments. Keep them coming. We're almost through a lot of the recorded stuff that we want to share with you guys. Give a like if you're enjoying the new format for our pregame show, which includes more than 10 interviews. We still have quite a few more to go. But 10 Tizzy always brings the excitement. He is ready for football. I got her converted over to him for the PG version. Tizzy, I always tell my family to watch the show. You know, I got an 11-year-old and a 2-year-old. I got to be PG with it, but I love your excitement. Make sure, 10 Tizzy, that you didn't hit the like button like 20 times. Get on your cell phone, get on your tablet, get on your computer, hit like. But Andre, there was Bozeman talking about this offensive line. He had some more comments about that.
Yeah, let me just say this first. I'm so happy that he's back. You know, that was really the big piece of the puzzle for this offensive line, whose success needs to be there in order for Bryce Young to be successful, right? Bradley Bozeman, a big part of what they do. He is a leader. He is the leader of that offensive line. And, you know, you got a couple of young guys mixing in as well. Chandler Zavala, Cade Mays in that rotation as well. Akem Aquanu in his second season. So there's a good mix of some new ideas and some traditional ideas with that offensive line. That's led by Coach Campen, who will light you up if you do not have your you-know-what together. So, the preseason was a little rough. He kind of touched on it in that piece there. But again, that's part of the reason why we have the preseason. You're building it up for the regular season. Whatever you need to clean up, get it done now. So when the regular season's here, we can be full steam ahead and ready to go.
All right, and there's this comment here that I earmarked. It's a funny one. I got to put this one up there. Only good thing about COVID is my girl can't ask me to do things during the game.
Oh, man.
Why can't she ask you during the game? I don't get it completely. Do you get it? It's funny. Obviously,
I guess just because he's out of commission, like when I had COVID.
He's quarantined?
You're quarantined, you're in bed, you don't want to do anything, and you don't want to get anybody else sick. So I guess from that aspect of things, he can't do any of those things that his significant other wants him to do.
Yeah, and let me do this one. All right, I appreciate, you scared me here, but I appreciate that you didn't spell it out. But Walt G has commented, I think, a few times. He's excited that he caught the first live show today. We're doing an exceptional job. Only thing I'm missing is a shout out to Punch, aka Walt G. Walt G, on behalf of Andre Cassidy and myself, shout out to you. Glad that you finally caught the live broadcast. Hope that you'll catch many more. And hey, let's go 2 for 2 today. We're going to do a post-game show approximately 30 to 45 minutes after the game ends. We'll be back down here on the field, breaking down the action. So Walt G, appreciate you making it. Subscribe, consider joining the channel as well. And super chats are nice. But thank you,
Absolutely.
Walt G, for coming on here. So yeah, let me give a quick plug. Again, independent media. We need your all support. Subscribe to the channel. Join it. It's $3.99 a month. Helps you guys join the channel, which helps us do what we do. Super chats are always welcome and needed. And we have Cash App if anybody wants to just go that way. Cash App is good because we don't have to pay YouTube 30% of what we get. So anytime that you all can do that, that's great. Now let's go over to what is the biggest group of interviews that I got. I don't know if I got so many wide receivers because not that I was an all-star or anything like that, but I played wide receiver.
You got a good majority of them too.
Maybe I just naturally just continue to wish I was playing and go like, yeah, I'm hanging out with the wide receivers, right? Dan Morgan is going to walk by and Andre's going to tackle him, all right?
Are you sure about that? Hey, this is 140 pounds right here. I don't know if that's going to be much of anything, right?
If he's not waiting for it, and you surprise him.
That's why he's not coming over here, because he's fearful of us.
And you get him at the right time, you can tackle him. But we're going to go through this wide receiver group, and I think it's a good thing because that wide receiver group actually is a big question mark for this team, right? Defense, we honestly have been feeling good about the defense. But we know that we need to put up some points, and we know that we need to give Bryce Young some targets. As this wide receiver group was assembled, they said, hey, you know what? All these guys need to play at their best for us to be effective.
Yes.
Because they're, do we have a true number one? Is there a true number one? And really, it might happen during the season that we see that somebody prevails with that true number one.
Right.
But we really haven't seen it. So we're going to start with Laviska Shenault. I had a chance to talk with Laviska. This guy has been a mystery this preseason. He was a guy that I clearly remember the time that we were in OTAs and talking to Frank Reich, and he said that, yeah, trying to use him like as a Debo Samuel kind of guy. And then there's another time that Frank spoke about there could be many things that we do with Laviska, but we're not just going to come out and do them all. Like, we're going to gradually give him that wider role and see what comes out of it. But we did not see anything in the preseason that has us feeling like it's going to be good. He had 0 receptions. He was targeted a few times, but had 0 receptions. So here's my conversation with Laviska Shenault. Hit the like button, super chat us, subscribe, continue to support us because it takes a lot to do this show that we do. But nevertheless, here's Laviska Shenault.
Explosive, number 5.
Okay.
Not too much to it. I'm just going to make sure I put in the time and the effort to make sure I go succeed on Sunday.
Do you know what kind of role you're going to be able to play this Sunday?
We're going to find out. We're We're going to find out. I mean, early in the year they said what type of role that was maybe coming. So we'll see. We'll see.
With this new coaching staff, what are you excited about from this new coaching staff and playing for these guys for the first time on Sunday?
That they believe in and that they do a good job at what they do, putting people in positions to succeed.
All right, took me a minute to hit my unmute button there. So as I promised on the show, at approximately 11:30, we would get the inactive list for today's matchup. So without further ado, my man, Andre Cassidy, is going to break it down.
And I will not make the mistake this go around like we did in the preseason.
You didn't make any mistakes.
Yeah, what am I even talking about, right?
You didn't make any mistakes. You just read the list. Just didn't know what list you were reading.
Right. But nevertheless, here are the Panthers inactives for today.
Just get to the breaking news part of it.
Brian Burns will be playing.
What you say?
Brian Burns will be playing.
Who,
That's
0?
Really, yeah.
Number 0.
That's really the main takeaway. Brian Burns will be playing in today's game. This makes it official. So let me get through the list, though. Wide receiver DJ Chark. Cornerback Deshaun Jameson. Linebacker Claudine Calarius. Is that how you pronounce it? Calarius. And then guard Nash Jensen are your 4 inactives for today's game, which means...
Repeat that one more time for the people in the back.
For the people in the back. Wide receiver DJ Chark. Cornerback Deshaun Jameson. Linebacker Claudine Calarius. And then guard Nash Jensen are your inactives for today's game.
Somebody said we miss Hayden Hurst walking by. If we're doing our job, we're going to miss them all.
Right.
We do get distracted sometimes. But nevertheless, let me give you the mic for talking about this list here.
Yeah, so in regards to that, Brian Burns is active for today.
You want to talk about it?
Let's talk about it. This has been something that we've been holding off for a while, but I think this is the time to address it, right? So he is active. He'll be ready to go. He is under contract. He doesn't have a new contract. So the question becomes, how long does this drag on for? These discussions with Scott Fitterer and higher-ups about the kind of money that he's going to get. Now, I'm predicting that he's going to get $30 million. That sounds like a lot, but in a couple of years, that may not be such a bad idea. But he's going to be here today. He's going to play. He's going to be motivated. I don't know about you, Chris, but I feel like he's going to be motivated today because if he has an all-class performance, he's going to be like, I want $35 million. I want $40 million. I don't know if he'll go that high, but he does have that leverage to say that.
I'm going to unbutton my top button here because I am hot.
You're
I don't
steaming.
know why I'm hot. Are you hot?
Yeah. That's why I have it loose on right now. I'm like, yeah, this is
I
no
really
joke.
want to take this jacket off, but it's an all-white shirt, and it
Right.
just messes with the whole color thing for the show, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to let you own the conversation. I'm hearing so many sounds, I don't know where it's coming from. I'm going to let you own the conversation on the contract talk.
Yeah.
How much money he's going to get, and we'll talk about it some more if you guys want. For me, I'm just going to say I have given up on trying to figure out what's going on with this Brian Burns situation. To me, it's the most odd thing that I have covered because you practice, then you don't practice, you're here, you're not talking to the media. They're obligated to talk to the media.
Right.
They're obligated to be available to the media and say something. Thus, the famous Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here so I won't get fined. We didn't get a chance to talk to Brian all week. He made the flight, and I was like, well, this is kind of weird. So I even wondered, like, well, how much is he going to play?
Right.
Because there are reports that Brian Burns practiced, but I don't know how much he practiced. And this is just what the team tells us. I'm going to super quickly see if I can find some video for you guys that wasn't part of the planned thing for this show. And, all right, I think I found it. So
Okay.
I'm going to play this video for a second and try to talk over it. So let me see if I can.
This was from this week?
This is from this week.
practice? Yeah.
It's from this week. All right, so here we go. Let's see if this is right. So what you see here, this is practice, and this is Brian Burns. He's by himself. He's nowhere near the other guys. So when you say this is not a distraction, how is this not a distraction? So why does he get to kind of just not practice? And then this is practice going on. Who do you see by him? You don't see anyone by him. And then watch out for one more clip that's going to come up here. And this is just me saying, like, I don't understand. This is how you practice? When have you ever seen a guy that's not hurt just walk over to the side, get under the tent in the shade, and not practice? So
it's a tricky situation.
That's you know, that wasn't part of the script, but I just wanted to show that. We're going to move on because we've got about 20 more minutes, and I want to get to some of the questions that are coming. And I think we got just a little bit more video. So Brian Burns is active. Stay tuned on Twitter. That's where Andre's going to be manning things throughout the game show to get you guys up to date and going. So let me get back to my notes here as we continue to move through this. That was Laviska Shenault. Had a chance to talk with Adam Thielen. First wide receiver that's a captain since Steve Smith.
That's a long time.
It's a long time.
Long time.
It's also impressive because this is Adam Thielen's first season with the Carolina Panthers. He has not played in a game, and they voted him captain. So I got a chance to talk with Adam Thielen about becoming a captain, about Bryce Young being a captain, as well as the chemistry and strong points of this team. So here is Adam Thielen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, it feels good. Anytime you get voted on by your peers, by the guys that are in this locker room, it's a great honor, and with great honor and that there's a lot expected. So you got to live up to that every day and do the little things right, and which is good.
I know there's been talk about, and you've been vocal about Bryce and his maturity. He's also a captain, first year, young guy. How does that happen? How does that happen?
I mean, he's voted there, and by his teammates, so there's something that he's doing that is showing that he, is held to a different standard by his teammates, by the way that he carries himself, the way that he performs. I think, as a to look at a guy as a captain, you really have to have more than just being a good leader. You have to also be able to perform at a high level, and guys have to see that, and that's what he's shown.
This game against Atlanta is coming up a few days away, divisional game. How do you guys make sure that they come out of Atlanta with a W? What's important for you guys to do that?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, just focusing on what we can control. I think the big thing is you got to come out hot in this league. Every game is so important. Every game matters so much, especially when you kind of get to the end of the season, you look back. And so I think it's important for us to start fast, whether that be with our energy, with making plays, just really getting momentum going on our side. So, and then if that doesn't happen, you got to learn how to adjust and make it happen. And so that's something that we're going to have to kind of go in with that mindset.
I don't feel like this question is revealing the game plan, but how much newness will we see Sunday in Atlanta?
Well, I think it's pretty standard across the league, you do certain things in the preseason, and then you get to the game week. Same thing they're going to do, same thing we're going to do, same thing every team in the NFL is there's going to be things that you're preparing for that opponent, right? But I think what is great about this coaching staff and this team is there's time. There's time on task, right? We're not going to be out there just making up stuff just because it looks good against our defense. It's going to be stuff that we've practiced, that we've kind of prepared, and that we're comfortable with.
All right, so that was Adam Thielen there, just talking about, for one, being a captain, and also Bryce Young being a captain as well. And Adam Thielen's a guy that is going to be a leader of that wide receiver group. He's been in the league for about 10 years now, and he's going to provide a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge to not only Bryce Young, but to also guys like Laviska and Terrace and DJ Chark, who's also another veteran as well. But, he is so valuable to have on this team because of the experience that he brings, the different perspectives that he has that may be different from what other guys have on this team. Just to be that guy who is a sponge and then having other guys soak up the knowledge and the information that he brings to the table, that's such a valuable attribute to have for a receiver group that is kind of up in the air, right? With health, who's the clear number one? Are we going to have a number one? That's all, something that we'll figure out relatively soon, but he is a guy that we have to have on this team for this offense to be successful.
Yeah. So glad that he's out there on the field today.
Yes.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, I'm going to play this back just for a second because it happens very quickly.
Yeah.
Did you see Bryce Young come from behind the curtain?
I did.
And it kind of seemed like, oh, you guys are talking. But I'm going to play, well, Let me see if I can play it again really quick. Bryce, watch for Bryce Young coming behind the curtain as he comes for this. Let's see if I can do this one more time.
Yeah, it feels good. Anytime you get voted on by your peers or by the guys that are in this locker room, it's a great honor.
There he is, Bryce Young.
Great honor.
Did you see that? I'm going to play it for you guys one more time. Watch Bryce Young kind of
left side of the screen.
Whoops.
Left side
in
of the
this
screen.
locker room.
3, 2, 1.
Great honor and with great
He
honor.
cut his eyes so quick. That was pretty cool. So again, we're going to continue to roll through this because we got about 15 minutes left. So we will get through this, and we're going to show my man. Who's next?
DJ Chark.
DJ Chark, who's inactive today, but he gave me what is a very good breakdown on this wide receiver group. So he's going to talk about the chemistry, the improvements, the coaching, the strengths. So have a good listen here. And we're getting caved in, but they're respecting the final inch of space that we have here. But there's a ton of people to our left and right. Like if he stretched, if he yawns, he's going to knock a lady out. And if I yawn, well, I won't, but anyway, here we go. Right? DJ Chark breaking down this wide receiver group.
I think we have a lot of versatile players, and I think we have a lot of different players that bring something different to the table, whether that's, being savvy and being able to work between the hashes or being outside, using speed or using possession, being able to go up and body. You have guys like LaVisca, who can play different positions, backfield, things like that. You got Mingos, who's a big, strong, fast guy as well. So just so many different attributes that everybody has that makes them unique, but everybody's being versatile and smart makes it easier to move around.
What are some of the improvements that you've seen in these guys from OTAs to training camp to now, a couple of days before the season opener?
Fully just understanding the concepts and understanding what we're trying to do and how we're trying to attack the defense. I think also, just growing together as a team, the unselfishness that's in the receiver room, so everybody wants to, do their part and hold themselves accountable for the next person. I think that's going to go a long ways going throughout the season. Just, if someone's having a down day or someone make a mistake, being able to talk to them if they need that and being able to help them through things. So I think that's the biggest thing that's going to help us continue to grow.
And touching on, sound like you touched on some personal things, so that's what it goes to chemistry. Talk about the chemistry that this group has developed.
I think the chemistry is great. I've been a part of a lot of different rooms, and this room here is very special to me just because the type of guys you have like Thielen, who has so much knowledge and years of experience that he's willing to, give you, but he's also, a young soul, being in here joking and laughing with the guys, and just my personality and being accepted with everybody, but also my work ethic, and these guys work hard, so it makes me work hard. And so just continuing to push each other to new limits, everybody has different levels that they can reach, and I think that's the biggest thing that we all trying to do is push each other to do that and support each other in the process.
And what role has your coach played in the improvements, the chemistry, and all that for you guys?
Really just making sure we have that identity of being, tough and gritty and hard-nosed, being able to push ourselves past what we think we can do. That's one of the biggest things that he focused on, and just life, and, he always tells us, it's going to be times where we go through valleys, and you got to continue to work and get through that. And that's one of the biggest things, like just, for instance, training camp, being in the heat and not feeling sorry for yourself today because it's hot and it's day 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever, just going out there and pushing and giving it all you have because your teammates expect that of you, and, y'all together in this.
So I think we came up with a new game that we can play.
Yeah.
When we have live shows, even though we're not on the field a lot. But the next time we're going to be on the field, I don't know when that's good, but the game is who can you spot walking by in the background? Because in the comments they're telling about who all's walking behind us. So
right.
Thomas Brown just walked behind us. That's pretty cool.
But the one person that we have not seen yet is Dave Tepper.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
That's unverified information. This is just from what we've seen so far. We have not seen Dave Tepper walk behind us.
Yeah. And we've been out here for going on about an hour and a half now. We're about to have to head upstairs to get in the press box and get some photos out to you guys. But, yeah, we have not seen David Tepper.
Which is interesting. He may be here, but we just have not seen him yet.
I'm glad you pointed that out. So we got about 10 minutes left in the broadcast. Got one more video that we're going to show. Hit that like button if you have not done so already. I lost count, but tell me, I encourage you, go to Fox, ESPN, go to Panthers. What pregame show have you seen with so many interviews from the players getting you ready for the game? There's not been anyone. So, nickname man of the people for a reason. I take it seriously. Andre Cassidy takes the job just as seriously so we can get you all this content. And we ask for your subscription, but we also feel like we have earned it with the content that we're delivering to you guys and working for you guys to do so. So please subscribe, like, tell a friend, join the channel, super chat, whatever.
Y'all know what to do.
This last one was with Hayden Hurst. I had a chance to actually sit down one-on-one with Hayden Hurst. That full interview will be coming out. You will want to watch it. I told him that I was the man of the people and we had a good laugh out of it. So I feel like we built some kind of friendship there.
Right.
But Hayden Hurst was good to sit down with. Lots more that I had to share from our conversation with him than what I'm going to show you right now. But right now, I'm going to play the clip from sitting down with Hayden as we talked about this tight end group, which could be, as my great co-host says, the safety blankie for one Bryce Young. So here's my interview with Hayden Hurst. And I'm going to find it in 1, 2, 3. All right, Hayden Hurst, here you go. A couple days ago, you guys nominated him as a captain, right?
Yep.
Outside looking in, of course, you hear about how smart he is, how mature he is. Can you share this in some ways that are relatable to us guys that's not in that locker room? Maybe just a few specific things that you've seen in him that says, you know what, yeah, he's 22, yeah, he's a rookie, but I want that guy to be a captain.
Yeah, he just doesn't act like a 22-year-old. You know, he goes about his business just like everybody else, probably in more detail. He's probably spends more hours in here than anybody else on the team, watching film, understanding our playbook, understanding who we're going against, who we're facing, really IDing coverages. I mean, he's well beyond his years at 22, just the way he carries himself. Again, you know, he's just very intelligent, and he doesn't have to say a ton, and it's just through his preparation, he kind of gets guys to follow along.
Okay, so there's a lot of respect just in the way he carries himself.
Absolutely.
Your tight end group is your position group. How instrumental has your tight ends coach been in the development of you guys?
Yeah, Lily's awesome, man. He's very detail-oriented. You know, we go over everything, which is awesome for us. You know, we're learning a new system, a new playbook. So going over all those details really helps us, you know, in the first half of the season. And then, you know, once we get going with the installs and stuff like that, we can kind of put our own flavor on it.
Okay. And then strengths of these guys? Feel free to point out guys individually, but just collectively talk about the strengths of this tight end group.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us bring something different to the table. You know, it's a very physical group, you know, top to bottom. We got a lot of guys in there that care, and I think that's the biggest part. You know, you get a good group of guys like that who really care about football and care about winning. You know, they're paying attention to details. It's just it's a fun group to be around. You know, Ian, he's done it for 6 years. He came out with me. You know, Tommy's done it for 3. Gio's done it for 2 or 3. It's just a really top to bottom solid group. We're capable of doing, you know, whatever we want to do out there.
Okay, so we're on the eve of your season opener. You've played with Atlanta before. How you feeling getting into this Atlanta game?
Yeah, I'm excited. Had a good first season there. Second season was not my favorite year of my life, but it's going to be my first opportunity to go back and play in Atlanta, so I will definitely be fired up.
All right, so that was Hayden Hurst there for...
The volume is very low on Hayden Hurst. So because of the time, I cannot turn, I would replay it and turn up the volume, but what I can say is there's going to be the full interview that I the full interview that I did with Hayden Hurst will be up within the next 24 hours. I'll turn the volume up on that. But just in telling you what Hayden talked about was, I don't really remember at this point. My head's spinning because we've been standing for about an hour and a half. But he talked about the wide receiver group. They've been coming together with the chemistry. The coach is good, and he's excited to play. He played down in Atlanta, so he touched on that, and that he didn't have the best. He had a decent first year, didn't have the best second year, but he's excited to return and show some improvement. So that's the wrap up on Hayden Hurst. We got about 5 minutes left, and I think you had something that you wanted to share.
Yeah, just with on the comments, right? There was a question in the comments section. I don't know if I can find it real quick, but there was a question. It's towards the bottom of the list there. asking about Scott Fitterer and his seats. Is it getting hot? I will say this, he needs to deliver on the Brian Burns contract. I think, if they fumbled the bag, as many would say, with this situation right here, that sends a really bad message to guys who are going to be due for contracts pretty soon. Jeremy Chin, Derek Brown, just to name a few. Those are guys that are going to be on the cusp of getting some money here in the not too distant future. He's got a lot of good things about him. He's done a decent job drafting. I think he's very aggressive when it comes to going out and trading for players. But maybe this is something, a little aspect of his that may be a weakness of his, is securing those long-term contracts for big-name players. That's a little bit of a concern.
Yeah, I think he's done fine with securing the contract. I feel like every guy that he said, because I feel like he's really candid about who he's trying to lock up and secure, and that he's been batting 1,000 in doing so. But we can't get comments from him directly, but I would go to say, like, this is probably one of his more unique situations.
Right.
And that you're not just paying a guy, you're like paying a guy. Like if it was a quarterback, you kind of are used to those larger
kind of
numbers, right? But this is uncharted territory at this position where Bosa reset the heck out of the market for edge rushers. I think it was about $7 million more than the other edge rusher.
I mean, it was ridiculous how much.
Who's that yelling behind us? Oh, that's just a staff member.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's on the hot seat for his job. It's just a lot of, I would say, pressure that is going on for this Brian Burns situation in particular. So,
and I'll just say this before we move on to it. You need three things to be a successful team in the NFL. The quarterback, people to protect the quarterback, and people to rush the quarterback. I think right there, you have to pull the trigger. Get it done.
Yeah.
Just get it done.
I'm sorry, did you earlier say how much money you think it's going to take?
I'm thinking $30 million.
$30 million?
Because if Bosa's at 34, Myles Garrett, I think he's in the top 3. He's at $25 million. I think he's going to be in between Garrett and Bosa when it comes to the kind of money that he's going to get on a yearly basis. And I think the big part of it, too, that they're trying to figure out, how much guaranteed money is he going to get? Yeah. That's what I think. That's probably the one thing that's holding everything up right now is the guaranteed money. I think they got the yearly salary. They're getting close to figuring that out, but I think the big part is the guaranteed money and how much he's going to get right off of the bat.
For all you that want to know, NFL players get paid on a weekly or on a game basis, right?
Yeah.
So their salary, not sent checks throughout the year, is divided weekly during the season. If Brian Burns gets the $30 million that Andre Cassidy says he may get, that's $1.7 million per game.
And that's not taxed.
That's pre-tax.
Pre-tax, that's
pre-tax
your gross.
Is $1.7 million. So after taxes, I'd say it's probably still be right at about $1 million.
Yeah.
That he gets to take home. But hey, we want to tell you a lot more. We started the show early so we get an hour and a half. Little did we know we could have did a 2-hour show today. So next year, season opener, we can prepare for a 2-hour show, but we did not prepare for a 2-hour show today. We're going to have to cut this just to give you a little perspective. When we first started the show, you probably didn't hear any music, didn't hear any sound.
It was a lot calmer.
And there was barely anyone on the field. At this point now, there are hundreds of people on the field, and they're very close to us. And soon the players are going to come out. It's going to be a little bit more dangerous being where we are with all the computers and lights set up. So for those that want to continue to carry on the conversation, I encourage you to go over to Twitter, where Andre Cassidy will be manning things and keeping you up to date, telling you about players that may be getting hurt during the game or whatever we can see. He's going to be getting you all the latest on that. Also, our guy Patrick Snyder.
He's somewhere out there.
He is somewhere.
I think I see him.
Out here on the field. We have a phenomenal photographer that's going to get you pictures of this game pretty much immediately as they happen. So I'm going to invite you to also follow us over on Instagram where those pictures will be posted. I don't know where there's a fly going around like it's a nighttime, but you see the fly? Or is it just around me? All right, that fly's a little distracting.
It's around.
But on Instagram to follow us for pictures, and we have, I'm going to say it, the best pictures out there. Awesome pictures throughout the game. And that's it. I'm going to give you a chance to wrap it up as well.
Wow, it is already 12 o'clock.
It's that time.
Wow.
We got to get some food in us.
Nevertheless, this was a phenomenal show today. I love the energy out there today. And this is just the start of potentially something good this season. The big word that everybody's using, relevancy. Can we just get back to that point again? We'll find out today. We'll be up in the press box giving you all the updates that you need, all the game content that you need, down the field, up the field, you name it, we got you covered.
Yeah.
So we'll see you here in a short while. We'll be doing our pregame show as well immediately after the game. We'll say half an hour or so. But enjoy the game out there today. And for Andre Cassidy, or for Chris Jenkins, I'm Andre Cassidy, a little twisted up there, reporting for the Charlotte Vibe. Have a good one.
Subscribe. Hit the like button. Sorry we did not get a chance to get to the comments as much as we like, but join us for the post-game show.
Bye, everybody.